Libra, my radiant soul. You are about to make money. And not just any money, life-changing abundance is coming your way. This isn't a maybe, a possibility, or a hopeful wish. This is your spiritual confirmation that karma is moving in your favor. Right now. And nothing can stop it. If you're here, it's not by accident. Something deep within you, a whisper from your higher self, a nudge from your guardian angels brought you to this exact moment. Maybe you've been feeling it, that strange pressure in the air, that sense that something is shifting beneath the surface. You don't quite know what it is. But you know it's coming. And you're right. Behind the scenes of your life, a powerful force has been building. A divine balance is tipping in for Libra, the sign of cosmic justice. This shift is no small thing. For every time you stayed silent instead of lashing out, gave even when you were in lack, forgave when you had every reason not to, the universe was watching. You weren't being ignored. You were being remembered. And now, you're being rewarded. There's a portal open before you now. You can't see it with your eyes, but your soul feels it. You are standing at the edge of a personal transformation, and in this reading, we are going to uncover how money, love, and spiritual clarity are aligning in your life in a way that is unstoppable. So take a breath. This space we've created here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot is sacred. You are safe to be open. You are safe to receive. Let me ask you something, Libra. Have you been waiting for a sign? A breakthrough? Some proof that your energy wasn't wasted, that all those nights of wondering, waiting, and holding on were for something greater? Then stay with me. Because what the universe is revealing today is not just another forecast. It's a spiritual unveiling. And it may change how you see your current struggles forever. Please take a moment to anchor your energy into this reading by commenting below. You can write the words, "I am ready for my breakthrough," or share a sacred number that has followed you recently, maybe 7, 11, 22, or even 888. When you write it, you are not just commenting, you are claiming, declaring, stepping into alignment with your destiny. And before we begin this journey fully, let me say this from the deepest place of gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for every like, every comment, every subscription that helps grow this channel into a home for souls like yours, seekers, healers, visionaries. Your presence fuels this mission. And what you're about to receive is not entertainment. It's alignment. It's your reminder that the universe has not forgotten you, and that this is the moment when everything begins to move. So, Libra, what have you been doing, thinking, or feeling that led you here today? Because I promise you, by the time this video ends, you will know why. There's something truly sacred about the quiet work you've done behind the scenes, Libra, the unseen choices, the whispered prayers, the countless times you gave without knowing if anything would return. But karma, unlike the fast-moving, flashy energy many expect, works in silence. It mirrors the rhythm of your soul, not the urgency of the world. And in your case, that rhythm has been guided by patience, kindness, and a deep longing for balance, the very essence of your zodiac sign. Libra is the sign of the scales, not of superficial fairness, but of divine order. You are ruled by Venus, yes, but also by the invisible law of energetic reciprocity. When you chose to stay calm when it would have been easier to lash out. When you gave love even in times of lack. When you walked away with grace instead of holding on to pain, those moments were not lost. They were stored in a ledger far beyond human eyes, written not in ink but in light. And now, that light is returning to you in the form of divine compensation. This is not a reward system like the world teaches. This is not tit for tat, cause and effect in a transactional way. This is cosmic timing. It's not always immediate, but it is always exact. Like the growth of a tree, you don't always see what's happening beneath the surface, but one day, often when you least expect it, fruit appears. In your case, Libra, the fruit is ripening. You're entering a harvest season, but not because you manipulated energy or demanded a result. No. You're entering this season because you remained aligned with the principles of goodness even when no one was watching. You see, there's a quiet kind of strength that only the soul understands. And sometimes, it feels like the world doesn't notice, but that's when grace is doing its deepest work. You weren't being ignored. You were being refined. And now the same universe that felt so silent is starting to move, speak, and pour abundance in your direction. Sometimes, divine timing requires us to carry a burden longer than seems fair. But that burden often becomes the bridge that leads us into wisdom. And when you've crossed that bridge, Libra, you look back and realize every delay had a purpose. Every no was a redirection. Every silence was a setup for the breakthrough you're about to walk into. In spiritual teachings, even in the everyday stories of faith, we often hear of blessings arriving not when we push, but when we pause. When we're not forcing doors to open, but quietly waiting with an open heart. That kind of posture creates space for miracles to move through. It's like planting a seed and trusting that the rain will come. You don't keep digging it up to check on its progress. You water it with belief. That's what you've done, Libra. And now, the rain is here. So as you stand on the edge of this shift, I invite you to recognize your own part in this unfolding. You're not a passive recipient of luck. You are the co-creator of this moment. And your reward is not just money, not just opportunity, it is the profound knowing that you stayed true to yourself. That is the richest wealth of all. If your heart resonates with these words, if you felt unseen, overlooked, or delayed, but still chose to move with kindness, then claim this moment. Comment below, I have sown in faith, now I'm ready to reap in power. Because this, Libra, is your season. And you didn't stumble into it. You earned it with grace. Sometimes, the most profound breakthroughs don't arrive with fireworks, they arrive like a quiet tide that suddenly becomes a rushing river. Libra, the energy surrounding your financial life is beginning to shift in this exact way. There is movement now. Momentum. Money that once felt stuck is starting to stir beneath the surface, and the opportunities you thought had disappeared are quietly making their way back toward you, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. This isn't about luck. It's about alignment. From an astrological lens, when Jupiter, the planet of expansion, or Venus, your ruling planet of value and abundance, touches the 2nd or 8th house in your chart, it's like unlocking a vault that had been sealed by time, fear, or past limitation. These houses govern not only earned income and passive resources, but your entire energetic relationship to receiving. And the truth is, many Libras have spent years giving generously time, love, energy without realizing just how tightly they were holding themselves back from receiving the very things they deserve. But that's changing now. Think of this moment like a river thawing after a long winter. The current was always there, waiting but frozen. What you're feeling now is not the beginning of abundance, but the return of flow. And in practical terms, that may look like a contract being approved, a payment being released, a long-lost opportunity resurfacing, or someone finally giving you credit or compensation for something you created long ago. Even still, we must ground this energy in tangible self-leadership. Just because the river is flowing doesn't mean we should float passively. Now is the time to check back in with your finances. Look through old invoices, forgotten agreements, or creative ideas that were shelved. There could be money waiting for you in places you've already been, you simply haven't circled back to claim it. Create space for prosperity with purpose. Set up a vision board not for more money in the abstract, but for what that money means. Is it freedom? Is it rest? Is it impact? The more clarity you bring, the faster the universe can respond. And while you're building outward, don't forget to nurture inward. If financial stress has lingered in your body, magnesium and rest can do wonders. The nervous system plays a bigger role in money than we realize. When we feel safe, we attract. When we panic, we push away. You may not have been taught that it's okay to want more, or to believe you can thrive without guilt. But Libra, you are not stealing from others by becoming abundant. You are becoming a vessel, a stream that overflows and waters the world around you. And here's a gentle reminder, even in faith-centered practices, prosperity is not seen as greed, it's seen as evidence of grace, especially when it's stewarded well. Many people pray for miracles without realizing that money is often one of the ways miracles arrive. Not all blessings look like bright lights or sudden healings. Some look like bills being paid. Some look like being able to say yes to a better life without fear. And yes, some look like unexpected deposits, long-awaited green lights, and opportunities falling into your lap when you least expect them. So if you've been quietly hoping, watching, wondering, let this be your confirmation. You're not imagining the shift. You're sensing it because it's already begun. And if there's a specific financial goal that's been sitting in your heart lately, a debt to clear, a dream to fund, a lifestyle you know you're ready for, share it in the comments. Write it down, claim it, speak it aloud. The simple act of declaring your intention could be the door the universe has been waiting for you to open. This is your moment to receive not just wealth, but the freedom that comes with knowing you're finally in flow. It's interesting how love often arrives when we stop chasing it. Not because we've given up on it, but because we've finally made space for it to meet us in a higher way. Libra, love is returning to your life, but not in the form of confusion, push and pull, or emotional survival. This time, it's coming with gentleness, with maturity, with peace. It's the kind of love that doesn't demand your energy to prove itself, but instead reflects the version of you that has healed, grown, and chosen to love yourself first. As someone who has guided thousands through the energetic phases of relationships, I can tell you the energy surrounding your sign right now is unlike anything you've experienced before. In the tarot, when the Lover's card appears alongside Temperance, it speaks of a union that is both passionate and balanced, emotional and sacred. This combination isn't about intense drama or fairy tale fantasy. It's about two people meeting each other as whole beings, not trying to fix or rescue each other, but ready to walk together through the next season of life with intention and grace. You may be feeling this already. Perhaps an old love is softening. Or maybe you're beginning to see someone new with fresh eyes, someone who isn't trying to impress you, but rather understands you. And if you're single, this message is especially important. You're not waiting for love. You're preparing for alignment. Because when you rise in energy, you stop attracting partners who mirror your wounds, and you begin to draw in those who resonate with your healing. Numerology supports this shift too. The presence of the number 6, the number of harmony, family, and soul-bonded connection, combined with the number 8, the frequency of karmic rewards and energetic balance, tells us that the love entering your field now is both emotionally fulfilling and divinely earned. You didn't stumble into this moment. You matured into it. But real love requires more than readiness. It requires clarity. So if you're in a current relationship, now is the time to take a gentle inventory. Is this connection growing with you or pulling you back? Does it offer peace more than it requires performance? When love becomes healing instead of draining, you know you've shifted timelines. And that shift has already begun for many Libras. The colors surrounding your energetic field, soft rose pink and olive green, are significant. These are the tones of the heart chakra and emotional grounding. Wearing them, visualizing them, or surrounding yourself with them can help regulate your nervous system and remind your soul that love doesn't have to feel like chaos. In fact, the best kind of love rarely does. There's a principle in spiritual coaching that reminds us, the kind of love you're ready for can't arrive until you create the space to hold it. That means letting go of what was once almost enough, the patterns of needing to be needed, the cycles of fixing others, the fear of being alone. You're not the same person who once settled for half-hearted love. And because of that, you're about to meet a wholehearted one. Whether you're in a relationship or not, your heart is opening in a new direction. And with that opening, your love life is about to reflect back to you the emotional maturity and inner peace you've cultivated. Take a moment now to tune into your intuition. Do you feel a love returning or a new one arriving? Write in the comments, "Love is coming to me peacefully and truthfully." Because when you say it, you claim it. And when you claim it, it begins. What often happens, and what may already be unfolding for you now, is that once money finds its flow and love softens into stability, the soul begins to speak in a clearer voice. It's not that your spiritual self wasn't always there, but that the noise surrounding survival has finally quieted enough for you to hear it. Libra, this next phase of your journey isn't about chasing anything. It's about listening. You might notice signs appearing in subtle, yet persistent ways. The numbers 11 verse 11. The repetition of 777 or 888. Dreams that feel too vivid to be just imagination. Gut feelings that turn out to be surprisingly accurate. These aren't coincidences, they're the result of your energy field becoming more refined, more attuned. When the nervous system calms and the heart stops bracing for disappointment, the intuition finally has space to breathe. And what a gift that is! Spiritual awakening doesn't always look like dramatic revelations or overnight transformations. Sometimes, it looks like knowing when to say no without guilt. Sometimes, it's the courage to walk away without needing closure. Sometimes, it's the ability to trust a whisper within you even when logic doesn't agree. That's the power of expanded intuition. It gives you access to clarity that doesn't come from the mind, but from something much deeper. In energy work, we often describe this as the soul stepping forward to lead. It means you're no longer being driven by fear or habit. You're making choices from a place of resonance, of truth, of quiet knowing. And that kind of guidance rarely leads you wrong, especially when you learn to respect its pace. There's something profoundly human about our longing to be shown the way. And while I won't tie this strictly to religion or dogma, I can say this with certainty. In countless stories, across all walks of life, I've seen how a moment of surrender, a simple, quiet ask for guidance, can open impossible doors. Sometimes, it's as practical as missing a turn, only to realize later it saved you from something. Sometimes, it's hearing a thought that feels like it came from outside of you, nudging you toward a decision that changes everything. These aren't fantasies. They're moments of grace. And the more we open to them, the more often they come. If you're feeling a shift, honor it. Don't dismiss your sensitivity. Start your mornings with just 5 minutes of stillness. You don't need a perfect ritual. Just a moment to breathe, to check in, to whisper to the day, "Lead me well." Keep a notebook near your bed and write down your dreams. Even the ones that don't make sense. Over time, patterns will emerge. And if your environment feels stagnant, rearrange it. Clear a drawer. Light a candle. Let energy move again. The external is always mirroring the internal. Remember, your intuition is not a luxury. It's your original GPS. It's not mystical, it's practical. And the more you trust it, the more it trusts you back. So if you're here right now, nodding along because something in your life is already aligning with this message, I invite you to say it aloud or write it in the comments below. I trust the guidance within me. Because the truth is, the most powerful answers have never been hidden, they've only been waiting for you to get quiet enough to hear them. You may not have seen it clearly before, but everything that once felt like delay, detour, or defeat was actually part of a much larger design, one that required you to hold still, to pause, to be stretched, not to punish you but to prepare you. Libra, you've been like a bowstring pulled tight. Every heartbreak, every closed door, every season of uncertainty has only added to the tension. But now, the arrow is about to fly. The pullback is over. This is the release point. And what's coming next moves with power, precision, and divine timing. When we talk about energy that can't be stopped, we're not speaking in metaphor. We're speaking about momentum, the kind that builds over years of inner work, conscious healing, and showing up when it was easier to quit. You may not have always known where you were going, but you kept moving forward. You asked the hard questions. You stayed present. And in doing so, you shifted your frequency. You began resonating not with fear or lack, but with clarity, courage, and expectancy. That's what the law of attraction responds to. It's not about wishing harder or being perfectly positive all the time. It's about alignment. And right now, you're aligning with an energy that mirrors your soul's readiness. You become magnetic to the very things you used to chase. The energy around you now is fast, fertile, and incredibly focused, not because you forced it, but because you became it. Even in the most practical terms, think about what happens when you stop doubting your next step. Decisions become easier. Opportunities feel more obvious. People show up with support before you even ask. This is what it feels like when your energy stops resisting itself. And while the external world may try to catch up, your internal compass already knows the direction. The road ahead is open because you made peace with where you've been. In coaching, we often say, What you think is holding you back is actually building your launch pad. And I've seen that truth play out time and time again in people who were laid off and finally built the business of their dreams, in clients who faced rejection only to discover that something far better was waiting just one turn away. None of it made sense in the moment. But in hindsight, you always see the preparation behind the pause. This, Libra, is your hindsight becoming foresight. The moment where everything clicks. Where all the almosts of the past make room for a full and undeniable yes. And it doesn't matter how many times it didn't work before. This is now. You've changed. Your energy has changed. And that means your outcomes are about to change too. So if you've been feeling the build-up, the inner buzz, the sense that you're standing at the edge of something enormous, trust it. This isn't false hope. This is recognition. You're not a victim of your past. You are the architect of your next chapter. No person, no setback, no shadow version of you can block what's already written in the energy. Say this out loud if it resonates. I am no longer delaying. I am ready to launch. And when you write it below, let that comment be your commitment not just to the universe, but to yourself. Because readiness is a frequency. And you're already living it. Libra, if you've stayed with me this far, it's not just because you were curious, it's because something deep within you recognized truth. You didn't just listen with your ears, you listened with your soul. And in doing so, you aligned yourself with a vibration that few truly understand, readiness. You're not the same person you were at the beginning of this video. And that's not because I said anything magical, it's because you remembered who you are. You've walked through doubt. You've carried questions without answers. You've made sacrifices in silence. And still, you chose to hope. Still, you chose to grow. That choice alone has made you powerful. That quiet, consistent faith has shaped a version of you that is no longer just surviving, you are ready to thrive. Money is coming. But not to impress anyone. It's coming because you finally believe you're worthy of receiving it. Love is arriving not as a bandage, but as a reflection of your emotional maturity. And your intuition is expanding not to scare you, but to anchor you in peace. These are not coincidences. These are the fruits of your alignment. But more than the tangible, the true gift is who you're becoming through this process, softer, wiser, more resilient, and beautifully awake. So I invite you, right now, to pause and ask yourself, what do I need to fully step into this new chapter? What outdated belief, what lingering fear, what worn-out version of me must I release in order to step into the abundance, love, and clarity that's already on its way? Can you feel the shift under your skin? That quiet whisper saying, you're ready now? You don't have to know exactly how it will all unfold. You just have to take the next inspired step, even if it's small. That could mean writing your intention in a journal tonight. It could mean reaching out to someone who came to mind while watching this. Or it could be as simple as closing your eyes for 60 seconds after this video and saying, yes, I'm ready. And if that's true for you, I want you to say it out loud or type it into the comments right now. I am ready to receive everything that belongs to me. Because that act of declaration isn't just symbolic, it's energetic. It tells the universe, I'm no longer waiting, I'm walking. And if this message spoke to your heart, please take a moment to support this sacred space we've created together. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another Libra who may need a reminder that their time is coming too. Every comment you leave, every click you make, is part of a ripple that goes far beyond the screen. And I'm deeply, humbly grateful for your presence here. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting yourself. And thank you for allowing Zodiac Whisper Tarot to be part of your journey today. Because Libra, this isn't the end of your story, it's the moment everything starts to come together. So tell me, beautiful soul, what did you hear today that felt like it was meant only for you? What new energy are you ready to claim? The door is open. Your name is already written on the other side. Now, will you walk through it?